Hey guys, it's Jacqueline over here at homeschoolhangout.xyz. And I cannot believe that we are at the end of the academic year at this point. We're at the end of 2022, 2023. And to start with, am I the only one who is old enough that I go, those are like Jetson years. Where's my, hover car and my robot maid? So I was just spending a little time reflecting on this year and life and all of those things, getting a little, reflections. I'm actually doing this as part of a year end homeschool reflections collaboration. There'll be links down at the bottom and all of that. But yeah, it's been an interesting year. I graduated another child from high school. I have one who's living at home who is currently at university. And then I have oh my gosh, she'll be 16 here in a day or two, 16-year-old who finished her sophomore year of high school. And then my nephew is with us, and he just finished sixth grade, but it's been a really interesting year on that front too. And it's just because of where we're at in life, it's been a lot of life changes this year and at the end of this school year. And what I mean by that is we'll start with my nephew. He came into our home about 2 years ago, and I've spent a year and a half homeschooling him. But in January, we made the decision to put him in public school. And so he has just finished his school year and started a summer program. And that has been really interesting for us. We've never had a child who's in public school as a regular kid, meaning like we had kids who've been dual enrolled in college. And so there's been some driving around for that. But those are like one class, and we're still in charge of everything. This is the first time we've had a kid in public school, and that has been really interesting. Not all bad or any of that, just different. You got to get them to school in the morning. You got to pick them up in the afternoon. It's been a little weird. But I do think that we're pretty firm that we don't see that situation changing anytime in the near future. And so he will be starting junior high next year and kind of already has with the summer program. So that is an independence that we gained starting in January. He's going to be 18. My child who graduated from high school, definitely big changes there. I've gotten a lot more chaos this year. It was a chaotic year that is calming down just from all his senior activities, and I did fundraisers and all of that. We've just come out of grad party season for the homeschoolers, and it's just like, I'm still exhausted. I'm still kind of burnt out. He's still burnt out between senior trips and everything. So that is going to be a big difference next year. And which leads us to my 16-year-old. She is got so much independence. She's not driving yet. She hasn't started her permit. But even when they're in high school, they still take so much effort, but in a different way, if that makes sense. She's taking her core classes are basically at the college, so I don't have to teach them. She has finished all of her homeschooling science classes with a friend of ours. So for the first year, oh my gosh, my eldest was, I think, 6 when they started taking science classes. And this is the first time this fall will be when we've had no one taking a science class. She's not taking choir. And so it's just a really big change. She's looking at getting a job. She's got a job interview this week. But even when they're in high school, there's still a lot of academically, she's not doing as much, but there will be more life skills, more things like that being taught, and the time goes into that. But I'm also at that point, though, that means a lot of things are changing. How I'm doing this channel has changed. I've started a Patreon, and I'm going to be able to be more consistent. But I'm also looking at how long am I going to be writing and talking about homeschooling? I'm looking at it for the next few years. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going anywhere. But when I'm 10 years out from homeschooling, am I still going to be keeping up on all the laws in order to do this? I might. I might. Um, but I'm also doing more project management type stuff. I'm looking at getting a part-time job over the summer, not like over the summer, like it's a summer job, but starting working 20 hours a week with a friend's business, a private school possibly, and just trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. Because as our children get older, it really can affect who we are and what we do with our time. One of the things as my teaching children has lightened up, I've realized I've had to start doing is be better about my own boundaries for things in and out of the home. And what I mean by that is when my kids were little, of course, I could only volunteer so much time with this group, or this group could only expand to take so much time. But as they're getting older and those time bumpers aren't there the same way, I'm not having to stop everything to go pick you up from choir or go help with choir or a class. I realize that I can't let certain activities just grow to expand whatever space is there, or I won't have any time for any of the other things I'm trying to do with my kids. One of the things I really encourage is making sure that you still are carving out that time to spend with your kids in high school, because it's easy to say, oh, they don't need you for this class. Well, they don't need you for this class. They need you for so many other things. And so scheduling that free time with them, that sitting and talking time. Honestly, I just spent an hour talking to my almost 18-year-old about life changes and jobs and relationships in the middle of a Monday morning. So making sure that you have that time as your kids get older, that it's like, well, I don't have to teach them math because they're taking it at the college, but that math time doesn't necessarily go away. And just all of those things. So for me, I'm in a real state of like evaluation of what things are going to look like in the fall. It's going to be interesting. We're moving one kid's desk into another room so he can set up a bigger system. And so there's a lot of that kind of change in our house right now too. We are planning out she'll be a junior, her classes for the fall, but I'm also looking at still reviewing younger curriculum and things like that. And also just creating more of an online support community of, hey, let's get together and have a virtual coffee once a month, doing that kind of stuff with my Patreon. Doing more printables, more, templates and stuff. And that is because of the changes in my homeschool. It's interesting. Every year I've always kind of looked back because my husband's and my birthdays is in the fall, our anniversaries in the summer. We kind of look at life in that evaluation anyways of academic years. And at the end of this year, it's very different than it was 5 years ago when it was like, what are all the kids' classes? We're looking more at like, what Bible studies are they doing? What other classes do they need? What scholarships are they interested in? What programs are they looking at? So we need to build a resume for those things. My soon-to-be junior and I are actually going out tomorrow to kind of have one of those conversations. She just picked out an economics curriculum she wants to do that we picked up at a yard sale. Things like that. It definitely changes how you evaluate. And then having a kid in public school where it's like, I don't have to do anything to prep for his classes. That's kind of weird still. Very weird. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at for my year end. But that does mean I've opened up to do more supporting you guys now that my kids are a little further along. It definitely opens up some bandwidth there. So make sure you check out my Patreon and see if you want to be getting together with me a couple times a month to have coffee. And if you have specific coaching needs, and also some of my templates and webinars and all that stuff. This year-end homeschool reflections video, though, is part of a collaboration. I'm looking at names over here. That's being hosted by Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Homegrown Homeschool. And there will be links and a playlist down below. But yeah, as a parent who's very much further down on the journey, I am telling you, though, that this is my favorite age. I'd like to say they're all my favorite age, but really this is where they are their own people and you have those adult conversations, you know, it may be summer, but we just assigned various governmental and judicial things for them to read so we can talk about it. Things like that. It's a fun age and I like it. And it's also great time to think about how you can best equip them to lead the most successful adulthoods you can help them with. Do me a favor, let me know what you guys are struggling with. What was your best and worst thing from this year? My best thing was high school graduation for my 17-year-old. And my hardest, I don't know if it was worst, but was definitely enrolling my nephew in school. I also feel like I kind of skipped over some things I wanted to do with my junior, soon to be junior, however you look at that, this year, and just being more deliberate with my time is possibly the worst thing for me this year. But yeah, how about yours? What's your rose and your thorn? Let me know down in the comments and I'll talk to you guys later. Like, subscribe, all the things. Bye.